Happy New Year, everybody! This is Alchemist 2, back again with another movie review. I just recently saw Unbroken, the incredible story about Mr. Louis Zamperini, the Olympic athlete. It was virtually unknown at the time because there was Jesse Owens, and he just literally blazed a trail, pardon the pun, when he was in the Olympics. Of course, he didn't always start out that way. There's some things that were left out of the movie itself. I'm not going to say what. If you've read the book, then you know what they are. But, I thought that even though some things were omitted, the movie really didn't need them because it was, in and of itself, a very harrowing tale, one of heroism, courage, determination, stalwartness, tenacity, and just will. the will to survive. And later on, it's redemption and forgiveness. And what Louis learned when he was a kid, growing up Catholic, love thine enemy. That's what the Padre taught. And I think that's what came back into his mind. Of course, he didn't want to do that initially for his captors, especially not Mutsuhiro Watanabe, because they called him the bird, but he didn't want to do that. He just thought that was ridiculous at first. But if you've read the book, you know what happens, and I'm not going to say what because it's a huge plot point, and I don't want to ruin it, but this movie is absolutely spectacular. I mean, the music, the mood, the overall fear and tremulation and tribulation that Louis goes through while he's lost at sea and all that, and just his optimism and that never say die. That stubbornness that just keeps him going no matter what. He just continues, and he never gives up. He actually gives his fellow soldiers hope. And there was a scene that really evoked a lot of tears, and I'm not going to say what it is. If you've seen the movie, you know what scene I'm talking about, but it's the one that they show a preview of, that I was literally just bawling my eyes out. I was so overwhelmed and overclamped by it. It's very powerful, and it's just that whole, illegitime non carborundum, which is Latin, that means don't let the bastards grind you down. And that's the phrase that came to mind, the one that my dad taught me. And that's one thing that gives me hope, is not letting the naysayers get the best of me, and continuing going forward and not looking behind me at all, just pressing onward toward my goal. And at this point in time, I'm just having fun getting there. I don't really know what my particular goal is. I want to help people, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that as of yet. Whether it be pulmonary tech or rad tech, either or, one pathway or another, each one would be financially lucrative. And I'm not really looking for the lucrative part of it, although, yeah, it's important because the economy stinks. But whichever pathway lies ahead of me this particular year, or years to come, it will probably take me a couple of years if I decide to go into rad tech, and maybe 2 years for the pulmonary. Either way, it's going to be 2 years. But one way or another, I'm going to be able to help people. That's what I really want to do. I want to help people live their best life possible. I want people to live healthy lives, and they can take care of themselves. A lot of people don't know how to take care of themselves, and that's important. They got to learn how to do that. And I can help them do so, even though I'm not personally trained. I'm learning every day. My parents, they're very well versed in herbal remedies, old folk remedies, and they really do work. And I know a lot of people say, it's a bunch of hoo-ha. Well, no, it's not. There's a lot of truth to it, and I did one today. I actually had a little bit of a scratchy throat, and I had just a smidge of apple cider vinegar with the mother. I just knocked it back. It was terrible, but it got rid of my scratchy throat. So you tell me if all that is a bunch of hooey, because I will tell you it's not. But today I learned my dad's kidney function isn't what they thought it was. He is feeling better, granted, but they still don't know what his kidney function is at this point in time. They're still doing some tests. He had an MRI on his chest, and he hasn't really gotten any word on that yet, so it's all not knowing is really kind of scary to me. But I do have faith, and I am praying, and I know a lot of people are praying for him. I'm going to update my Facebook tomorrow so I can let people know what's going on and what's happening, and hopefully I can have some time to actually go and visit him some point in time. I can't now because I got to work tomorrow, and I'm going to be working for quite some time until I actually get a day off, which the first day I get off is the 6th, so it'll be a while, but he will, eventually I think he'll be able to go home. They're going to keep him a while longer than I would like, but they're going to make sure that he gets better. And apparently it's the flu, like he said, and it's just been going around, and he didn't get it from me because I've been very careful, but it's just that kind of thing at this kind of the year to get something like that. That's basically all I had to say about Unbroken and me going off on a tangent about my dad. I'm sorry. The Two Thumbs way up, 5 stars, hands down. It is a absolutely sensational movie. I couldn't recommend it more than I do. It's absolutely magnificent and wonderful, and tremendous in all ways, shapes, and forms. And I think that the Zamborini family would be very proud with what Louis accomplished, and just how many people he's inspiring through this biopic. And Angelina Jolie, bet you anything she's going to get an Oscar for it. Best Director, I bet you anything. That's my prediction for Oscars this year. Just wait and see. If the Academy doesn't do it, then the Academy are a bunch of idiots. But most of the time it's just a popularity contest. But yeah, what else is new? They need to learn what true talent is. Sorry, I'm just saying, but I've said enough. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to write anymore. So, till next time. Arrivederci.